I thought about trying out a new vehicle on this trip, and I didn't record very much of my thoughts about it during the trip, but I'm gonna talk about it now really quickly. Even though this is not a car channel, I'm gonna take 10 seconds to talk about this. The Chevy Spark is the most uncomfortable vehicle I've ever drove in my entire life. So, the location of today's trip is Mexico Beach. I went to Mexico Beach. I also went to Cape Sandblast, and I went to T.H. Stone Memorial St. Joseph Peninsula. I think that's two separate things, but T.H. Stone Memorial State Park. And it's the first time I've ever been there, surprisingly. I don't know why I've never been down there, but this is the first time I've ever been. So when I got down to Mexico Beach, I parked in one of those, if you've ever been to like any like coastline like town or anything, you'll know that there's like public parking for beach access. Just parked in the public access for public parking for beach access. Got out and saw a really unique building across the street. You got to understand, this particular town was really destroyed in 2018. I never went down directly after Hurricane Michael, but I saw pictures and tales, I guess, from it. And I don't know if there was a building or a part of the road that was not severely damaged in 2018. So anything there, I don't know if it's new or if it's, I don't know, but the building across the parking spot was really unique. So I stopped and took a photo of that. And I do want to stop here for just a second and say that I'm trying out a new editing technique in this go around. So some of these photos might appear different than my past videos and photos. So just something I thought I'd share. So as I'm walking down to the beach, there's nobody there. Well, for one, there was nobody at the parking, public parking, and there was two people just out from the beach access at that particular point. So it was very strange. The beach is a very popular place right through August, maybe early September, and then it kind of dies off, but still, typically there's locals that come and walk and sit, and there was just nobody there. I mean, it was that one couple I was saying in either direction. I just couldn't see anybody for a good while. So that was kind of odd, but there was certain signs that they had kind of taken things down from the season. There was a volleyball net the net had been removed, and so just the poster there. And that was an interesting shot. I thought it told a little bit of a story of the season's over, going into the winter, everybody's kind of going home, and this is what the beach looks like at that point. And I thought it was unique. Do I like the photo? Yeah, but do I think it's like noteworthy? No. I've always been a big fan though of. I believe I'm learning the names of everything and the what people refer to certain things as, and negative space or negative a negative space, however you say that word. You have an image of just essentially, I don't necessarily say nothing, but there's not a clear defined subject in the photo, and I'm a really big fan of that. I'm a really big fan of other people's photography that's like that. For me, it's very difficult. It's not only very difficult to do, but it's also just very difficult to like when I take that photo. So I took a few, what I think of as a lot of negative space images, and got back in the car. Every time I come to the beach, I never remember to bring my sunglasses. I'm always just so used to never wearing them. My wife gives me a hard time about it. But every time I come to the beach, I always feel like I'm burning my freaking eyeballs. Is it possible to get a sunburn on your eyes? 'Cause I feel like I'm doing it right now. It's terrible. View's great. Whew. As I was driving from the public parking in Mexico Beach to the state park in Cape San Blas, I passed by a motel, and man, let me tell you, this motel was, I really think, a turning point for me in my journey, I guess you'd say. And by that I mean, I passed by this motel, saw that there was nobody there, stopped. Like, I don't think there was anybody staying there. If they were staying there, they weren't there at the time. Like, there was workers there, but like no, people staying in the motel. Turned around, went back, got out, took my business card, found the management of the motel, gave them my business card and said, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I was passing through. I really like the look of this motel. Can I stay and take a few photos?" He called the owner. Owner gave me permission, but would not allow me to do video, which was fine. So I'm going to discuss it here and show the photos. It was an old style, like maybe late 50s, early 60s style motel with very bright colors, blues and pinks. There was a pool that was, it was obviously an above ground pool that they've just kind of like probably made like a patio or something around, because it was above the parking lot. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it wasn't level with the parking lot. Like, you had to walk up a ramp, and it was up a few feet. So it was pretty interesting, and I got some really cool, what I think are really cool images of the railing going into the pool. I wish I could have gotten into the pool, but I think it was locked at the time I was there, and I wasn't going to press that guy anymore. He was nice enough, let me stay and take those photos anyway. So then I drove down to Cape San Blas, went to the state park, and I would love to go back. There's a couple trails. There's one trail. There might be two there. And the trail that I went on was really, really nice. It was really unique. It was, you walked through the woods, and if you've ever walked anywhere in Florida, like along like Destin, Panama City, Cape San Blas, Mexico Beach, Apalachicola, why is that name of that town? Anyway, anywhere in that area, you kind of understand that it's like really sandy. You get the sand pines, you get a certain type of vegetation, you get a certain type of, atmosphere. And to me, that trail was it just nailed that atmosphere by a long shot. And it's really cool. Cape Sandblast is essentially like a finger that comes off of Florida and extends out. So it's a peninsula, I guess you'd say. It's got water on 3 sides. Yeah, it was really fun. I got some good photos. Their dock or their pier, or what, not pier, but their beach access was crazy. I've never seen a beach access that kind of looked like that. Got some really, some just standard kind of fun images there. And yeah, the trail though was at the very beginning of the state park. So I drove all the way to the back of the state park, did everything, and then turned around and came back to the beginning of the state park. And what was funny is as I was driving from the back of the state park to the front of the state park, there was an image that I saw when I was going the opposite direction that I said to myself, when I come back, I'm gonna stop and get that. And I don't remember if I got any video footage of it, but if I did, I'll play it in just a second. But I've gotten really, really fond of images that are, it's a straight on image of essentially like a roadside. And what I mean by that is I'll see if I can share another image really quickly of what I'm talking about there. But it's essentially if you're driving on the road and you turn and look to the left or you turn and look to the right, it's a straight on image from that viewpoint. And I don't know why I've gotten so fond of that. It's very nostalgic feeling from when I was a kid, and like I had Game Boys when I was a kid, stuff like that, and toys or whatever, but it was prior to cell phones. So there were periods of time where, you know, your battery might have died on your Game Boy, or you had to change it out batteries or something, and you just stopped and looked out the window, or in general, you just stared out the window. I don't know if you guys were like this, but I would always imagine a guy on a dirt bike driving in the ditches and like doing backflips and stuff and cool tricks and everything along the outside of the window. And I've gotten really fond of that, and I could see that kind of turning into something fun down the road, a collection of images. But as I was pulling back, I stopped and I got the image, and looking back, I was parked in the middle of the road, and there was these rails that you'll see in the photo of where I couldn't pull off because it's really sandy, and they don't want you to pull off in the sand, obviously. And so I was stopped in the middle of the road from the driver's seat taking the photo, and there was nobody coming. But looking back, I wish I would have slowed down a little bit more, because there were certain areas where there were birds gathered, and I really feel like that would have added something to the photo. Like there's decent layers in the image, but I really feel like it could have added that extra piece of just something cool for the image if I would have gotten a bird like gliding across the top of the water, or maybe a couple birds like at the right at the beginning of the water, just sitting in the water. But overall, I think the image is cool. So I get back to the trail, and I start walking on it, and for some reason I had in my head it was all like boardwalk, and it wasn't. It was very little of it was boardwalk, and then vast majority of it was walking through sand. But there was one section at the very, I say back, at the very like back side of the trail before you turn and kind of start heading back towards the car, which is a very short, it's only like a mile, I think, where it just opens up into the bay, and it's great. There's a bench right there. It's covered by a tree. It's just awesome. And I wish I would have taken a little more time to take some more photos. I only had the Canon R5, but I really want to go back with my film cameras and try to take my time taking some film images, or film photography, or 35 millimeter medium format, whatever you want to call it, just images on film rather than digital. And going into 2026, which is freaking crazy to say, one of my goals is to shoot more film. Past couple of years, I shot a lot of film. The price of film and the price of getting it developed kind of skyrocketed. So I'm talking to somebody on Instagram that's a local person here, lives around me, that develops film, and he's kind of helping me out, giving me some pointers. And I'm hoping that kind of opens up into something where I can develop film completely on my own. I'd love to have a darkroom one day, and I'd love to develop 35 medium format. I would also love to delve into large format and develop that and scan it and do everything from home, to where you've got like chemicals to purchase, but it's just film. And I would love to solely, for personal work, solely shoot film. For business side of things, shoot digital. But that's a goal for 2026, so we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I'll bring along the video camera for some of that. So, and the last thing I wanted to I don't necessarily know if I wanted to say was, I spend a lot of time overthinking these videos, and I want to try my best to focus more on getting content out than focusing on making things perfect in these videos, because at the end of the day, I have a creative bug sometimes to create things just for fun. I don't think I'm a super creative person by any means, but I think the want to do things is there, and if you're wanting to do things, you got to be willing to kind of listen to that and go for it, you know. So yeah, I'll end the video with the last couple of clips from the trail, just the last couple of photos, and yeah, I hope to record a lot, take a lot of photos between now and January, and then once January comes, clean the slate, clean everything away, and start January with the idea that I want to solely and completely shoot film. So we'll see how that goes come January 1st. All right.